DuBois, PA, 1918,
What's your actual birthday?
September 23rd.
Congratulations, 100 years old.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Yeah, I was driving down to church that morning on the car radio, yeah. Yeah,
What year were you drafted?
42, Middletown Air Service
Sure.
Command.
Mhm.
And I was drafted out of there. And I had changed my draft board down there. I had 17 weeks of basic, month home, right over, landed in Scotland, rode a train down almost to the coast of England, the Channel. In 2 days it was on a transport taken over to France. That night they loaded us on trucks, took down the road, and they had to go through the bombed out St. Lo. And the British MPs stopped the call and said, "You'll be in the German lines," and they switched back through St. Lo to a farmhouse. And they said, "Get out." And right then there was a big shell shot over the top of us. The first thing you're there. So we were in that farm for a couple of days, and they lined us up, and officer come down and said, "Any trouble?" And I said, "Well, I had to get some special shoes made. I had carried 3 pair." And they walked away, come and picked us up. Americans closed the gap, the Felice Gap. The night before that I joined the outfit is when they had closed it. And I was assigned to the half-track A Company of 36th Armored Infantry. And from there, we started across France, 100 miles the first day. Went the rest of the way into Belgium, had roadblocks every once in a while where they would put a tank or some kind of a gun in, and we'd have to knock them out. And then we'd go on, and you'd keep running into them. They come in different ways on the roads. And so we got into Belgium and got to St. Lo when part of our outfit was up on the hill, and some of the rest of the outfit was downtown. And they were ordered to shoot anything that came down the street. Well, what it was the officers trying to get away. So there was a lot of German officers killed that night. And then the foot soldiers came up, and that whole division surrendered at that town. And from there we went on Liège. Our half-track was sent down Liège to guard the 3 bombed-out bridges that they make sure no Germans were coming across while they built a pontoon bridge for us. And we went across that and went on up through, and we hit the German line, and the sergeant said, another phone night, go up the road there and see if you see anything. We went up a few yards and they opened fire on us. We come back and said, and artillery dump that was behind us fired APs up, but whatever they were hitting, they were twirling back over our head, back towards the outfit, and they had to move because they were coming in that area. So this fellow and I were the first ones into Germany at that time. General Hodges was our commander. Running into trouble up ahead, he'd stand up in his Jeep with his pipe in his mouth and go up to see what was going on. And turn around and come back. Every time we get stopped, he'd go up front, see what's going on.
On its northern flank, near Namur and Charleroi, General Hodges' army linked up with troops of General Dempsey's 2nd British. General Hodges' men were the first to enter Germany.
But after that, we crossed the Drake and Teeth, went through a few towns, and we were told to follow a tank, and the tank got hit, and they were firing on us from the town. I was there the next night, and I collapsed and was sent back. My legs quit. I couldn't stand up or walk. They took me under the arms and put me on a Jeep and took me. I went through different ones, flew back into France, and took a train tour almost back to the coast to a general hospital. And I was there for 2 months. Sent back to a replacement depot, and they called another fellow and I out to go to MP school. And the next morning they closed the school, so they sent us up on the hill to the GI stockade. So we pulled guard all winter. In the spring, he called out and took me to Paris. I thought I was going home. Instead of that, put us on a train, pulled up to a town, got off, waited, finally picked us up, went to a headquarters. And we found out that we were transferred into the Air Corps.
Wow.
I went to supply division. Stayed there till the war was over and moved up to Germany. And December 45, I came home. We were moving so fast that we just kept going. One time they pulled us off the road at night. It was night, and said we've been cut off. The rest of the column had stopped at trains coming through with German officers in. And the first one, they wouldn't surrender, and so they stayed there and shot it all up. And the next morning, then they come up and we went on farther than in France. Most of the time we were standing up in the half-track. One of the fellows, a sniper, got him. One town we'd stopped in. So there was nothing you could do anyway. Had a 50 caliber up on the front that the sergeant manned, and the rest of us were back here. We had 2 machine guns back here that we could mount, or if we got off, I had to carry the machine gun, which was kind of heavy. The ones that we got there were just young kids. There was a hole in the floor, and one of the fellows dropped his helmet, and they went down to get it, and the 2 young kids were in the basement all night.
These are Germans.
Yeah, they were just shot. They didn't know what was going to happen. Our division was set up in 3 units. And they went down this road, and this road, and this road. That's the way we went across the whole way. We went north. And the Germans were coming down trying to get south because Patton was down in southern France and Belgium going that way. So we had a lot of them running into us now and then. The worst part, when we go into a town, they'd be lined up, and if there was a shot fired someplace, they disappeared. But the worst part was, when you went through a town, you got flowers, not cut flowers. They were pulled out by the roots and given to you, and bottles of wine that we had to lay in the bottom of the half-track. We'd get outside of town, and then we'd have to throw it out, so we'd have a place to stand. Yeah, the French and the Belgium, both, they would, when you went through a town, they would come out. The day I left, I fired 2 bursts out of the machine gun. That was the only time I fired. There was times I could have, but they were gone before we could zero in on them. After the war ended, our people had to go over to the airport, and all the outfits coming in had to be unloaded and their equipment checked. If they were short something, they gave them to them. If they were over, they took it away from them. Some of them were going direct to Japan. Some of them were going by the way of the States. And when they were all done, then we moved up to Erding, Germany, outside of Munich, to the airport. I was back home by the 15th of December.
45.
My wife met me at the train. That's the only one that met me. And my two daughters. I had two daughters. The second was born the day I left down by Harrisburg to go over to New Cumberland. She was born that morning.
My God.
It's a hard life. You stop for the evening, you dig a slit trench, and then all of a sudden somebody hollers, turn them over. You move 20 feet, and then you dig another hole. And then you pull guard during the night. That's every night. Got what sleep you could because there's no sleep in the daytime. The only thing that I know, we knew who we were fighting. The next couple wars, you didn't know who you were fighting. So we had an advantage there. But I did what I had to do and got through it.
Well, we salute you. We congratulate you.
Thank you for your service.